So I think that there's crossroad in the light and in the shadows. So in the light, I mean when you exit a business, you arrive at a crossroad where you either read anchor yourself in your old metrics and try to keep growing in the same way, or you actually transform. And I think that's a path I missed originally because I was in my early 30s. I was a multimillionaire. I had, felt like I had done so much already, but it was still not enough for me to feel like I was truly
Mm.
mastering entrepreneurship. And so I wanted to do more, and I kept raising the bar of what it should mean for me to be successful as an entrepreneur. And it took me a couple of failures and a few years to realize that my rule of doing something surprisingly impressive to measure my worth was not working. I had to
Mm.
change my mindset, not seek growth, but seek transformation, become an investor, become a mentor. So you don't measure your
Mm.
growth with the same KPIs when you
Yeah.
transform. So that was a crossroad I missed in the light, but I also missed it. It happens also in the failure zone. So I call that the shadow because I believe there's three emotion that derails any business, which are uncertainty, fear, and unworthiness. And when you reach the fear level and unworthiness level, you're in the failure zone.
Mm.
And if you stay too long trapped because you don't recognize these emotional patterns, it derails your decision making capacities, which brings you to the crossroad in the shadow, which is you either become a fallen hero, someone resentful against reality, angry at life, and a victim mindset, or you actually transform. And the playbook is that you don't transform from your head space, you transform from your gut space, your intuition.
But I want to talk a little bit about this, this idea of the entrepreneurial shadow. So you mentioned that a few times.
Yes.
So can you explain again a little bit more about what it is and how it shows up in a founder's journey?
So I believe entrepreneurship is a hero journey, which means that
Hmm.
you step into the unknown. But the way we're approaching entrepreneurship right now is we're doing it in reverse. We're aiming for tactics, tools, skills that we can plug and play into a trail that's known in our forest. But that's not really entrepreneurship. And it often doesn't work anyway, because the next step is people are going to go to the second layer, which is strategy. Okay, maybe I just needed another angle. And they're going to self sabotage with internal pressure. That's why failure is the norm and burnout is the norm of entrepreneurship as we see right now. So I believe we need to flip the script and start with internal clarity on our core motivation, our anchors in our different buckets outside business so that we have less identity fusion. And so there's a bunch of tools like that that I'm thinking about that I've used unconsciously or consciously that have helped me. And so that helps navigate the journey. But if you even if you do it in the right order, you're still going to start from a place of hope, which is you're setting a target, you're setting, you have a business plan basically, and you rub it against reality. And the first thing you're going to
Hmm.
realize is that it doesn't fit. So uncertainty is inevitably going to happen at some point. It's very rare that you can think yourself to clarity. And I've never done a
Hmm.
business that has been a home run on the first try. You always question
Right.
yourself. You always question some
Sure.
elements of your plan. And so that's when uncertainty first steps in. If you don't manage your uncertainty because you have a depth of understanding of where you're going and that you might be uncertain in the tactics that you're using, but it doesn't derail the inner clarity and the strategy that you've built,
Hmm.
then it's easier to navigate. But if you have started in reverse, then it's easy to derail yourself into fear of failure. And then fear
Hmm.
of failure could trigger a sense of, well, why did I even think I could do it in the first place? Who am I
Hmm.
to create a SaaS that's going to compete against Google?
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah. So you've got a shadow check ritual. So tell us about what that is and how founders can use it to improve clarity and resilience.
The shadow check ritual is a work in progress for me. I'm using it myself, currently. because I'm aware of my shadows now, but I'm trying to put it in
Yeah.
a framework. So they, unfortunately, today they cannot use it because it's not fully actionable.